Chosen one, what you are about to hear is not metaphor, not exaggeration, not a poetic flourish dressed up to hold your attention. You are the first human in 2,000 years to carry this specific spiritual gift to the threshold of activation. 2 millennia have passed since this frequency last opened in someone walking this earth, and the heavens have been holding their silence, waiting for the next door to crack. That door is you. If those words match a knowing you have carried since childhood, that is not coincidence. That is recognition. The same recognition that arrives when a prophet meets the prophet who came before. The gift I am about to name has been sealed since the upper room, sealed since the early apostles, sealed since the first flame went underground when the world stopped being ready. Every generation since has been a generation of carriers who almost remembered. You are not almost, you are now. Stay with me, because what unlocks in the next 30 minutes will rearrange how you understand every strange, lonely, holy thing you have ever felt about yourself. Imagine, for a moment, a lamp buried beneath the floorboards of an old house. The lamp is not broken, it is not extinguished. It is set in a sealed place, beneath wood that has been walked over by every generation that has lived in that house. The light inside is still alive. It has been waiting for the right hand to lift the floorboard. This is the image I want you to carry through this entire message, because what is happening in your life right now is exactly that. A floorboard lifting. You have lived a long time inside a small word. The word is weird, or maybe the word is too much, or maybe the word is different in a way I cannot explain to anyone. Whichever shape the word took, it has been sitting on top of you like a second skin, and you have walked through your years pretending it did not weigh as much as it did. You have stood in rooms full of people you loved and felt alone in a way they would not understand if you tried to describe it. You have read scripture, or sat in nature, or watched the sky longer than most people would, and felt that something was almost surfacing through you. Then ordinary tasks called you back before the surfacing could finish. You have been carrying something. You have known you were carrying something, and no one in your life has been able to tell you what. Before we go deeper, let me tell you what is going to happen by the end of this message, so you know what you are saying yes to. I am going to name the gift you carry with language old enough to belong to it. I am going to walk you through why this specific gift was sealed for 2,000 years and why the seal could not be broken until now. I am going to show you the signs your life has already been giving you that this is real and that you are the one. I am going to introduce you to 2 carriers from that lineage whose lives mirror yours in ways that will reach the back of your awareness. And before this is over, I am going to walk you to the threshold of the activation itself and place in your hands the 2 practices that have helped others step across. This is not a casual message. What is forming in this hour does not form again the same way. Stay. The signs have been there. You just have not had a frame to put them in. Let me give you the frame. The first sign is the dreams, not the ordinary dreams that recycle your day. I mean the dreams that arrive feeling older than your sleeping mind. The ones that wake you with information you did not have before sleep. The ones that hand you names, faces, warnings, instructions, and then dissolve before you can write them down. You have been having these dreams for years. Sometimes you tell someone. Most times you keep them to yourself because the telling makes them sound smaller than they were. They were not smaller, they were transmissions. The second sign is the numbers and the name callings. The same string of digits showing up across unrelated places. The phrase you heard from a stranger in line, that was the exact phrase you had been turning over in your prayer that morning. The book that fell open to the verse that answered a question you had not yet spoken out loud. You have learned to half notice these, without making a big deal of them, because the part of you that grew up in a careful family knows not to seem strange in front of others. You stopped making a big deal. The signs did not stop. They have been keeping a quiet count, waiting for a season where you would let them be counted. The third sign is the knowing that arrives before the evidence. The intuition that turns out to be right too often to be coincidence. The sense that someone is about to call before they call. The reading of a room within seconds of walking in. The understanding of what a person is really saying beneath what their mouth is saying. You have not been making this up. You have been noticing what was placed in you to notice. The fourth sign is the slow detachment from the communities that once fit. The friends who used to feel like home and now feel like a coat that does not close properly. The conversations that used to fill you and now drain you within 10 minutes. The places of worship or practice that you keep showing up to, even though something in you has already moved on, because you do not have a new place to go yet. This detachment is not coldness. It is not betrayal. It is the lamp underneath the floorboards beginning to rise. The fifth sign is the creative restlessness that has no name. The wanting to make something, the wanting to say something, the wanting to write or build or speak or birth into the world, a thing you cannot yet see clearly enough to start. You have been carrying that wanting for a long time, and no project you finish quite scratches it, because the thing wanting to come through you is not a project, it is a transmission. It is the gift trying to find an outlet. What you have been calling weirdness was preparation. What you have been apologizing for was the early shape of the vessel. What you have been hiding from your colleagues, your family, your old friends, was not eccentricity. It was the lamp underneath the floorboards, beginning to glow brighter than the wood could hide. You have been living inside a story that called your gift a problem. That story was not yours. It was given to you by people who could not see what was forming in you. You can put that story down now. You are allowed to put that story down. You are allowed to take what I am about to share seriously. You are allowed to belong, finally, to the lineage you have been belonging to in secret for years. But there is a question rising in you right now, and I want to honor it before we go any further. The question is this. If this gift is real, and if it has been sealed for 2,000 years, then why now? Why this hour? Why this lifetime? And, of all the millions of people walking the earth, why you? That question has three answers. The first will explain the silence that has held this gift in waiting since the upper room emptied 2,000 years ago. The second will explain why the lifetime you are inside right now was specifically chosen. And the third will explain something about you that you have suspected since you were young, but have never had permission to name out loud. The answers begin in the next breath of this message. And in that same silence, where the strangeness has shaped you, an older silence is about to open. The older silence I am pointing toward is not a feeling, it is a place, a real place, in the bones of this world, where the gift you carry has been kept since the day it was last fully active in a human being. To find that place, we have to travel back 2,000 years, not in dream, not in metaphor. In the quiet way the spirit travels when it is showing you something true. Let your awareness loosen for a moment, and let me take you to the room where this began. Picture a room above a marketplace, in a small province at the edge of an empire. The marketplace is closing for the evening. The streets are emptying. Above one particular door, a narrow staircase climbs up the side of a stone building, and at the top of that staircase there is a wooden door, plain and unmarked. Behind that door, a small group of people are gathered. The room is not a temple. It is not built for ceremony. It is the upstairs of an ordinary house, with rough floorboards and oil lamps in iron holders mounted into the walls. There is a low table near one wall, with bread and a pitcher of water on it. The light inside the room is the color of evening. The air smells of olive oil and stone dust, and the faint sweetness of bread someone broke an hour ago. The people in that room are not extraordinary by any visible measure. They are tradesmen, fishermen, a few women whose names history almost forgot. They have been arguing quietly for an hour, and they have been silent for an hour, and now they are sitting in a deeper silence than either argument or quiet, because something has begun to gather in the room that none of them can see, but all of them can sense. A wind starts, not from outside the building, from inside the silence. The wind passes through the lamps without moving them. It passes through the chest of every person in the room, and in that wind, a frequency releases. You will not find that frequency on a map. You will not find it in a textbook. You will not even find it named cleanly in scripture, because what was happening in that room was older than the language they had to describe it in. What was happening was a deposit. A specific spiritual frequency, carried by the unseen, was placed alongside a specific group of human awarenesses and entrusted to them for the centuries to come. That frequency is the gift you carry. There is a Greek word for what was happening in that room. The word is paratheke. Para means alongside. Theke means placed. Paratheke is something placed alongside the carrier for safekeeping. A trust, a deposit. Something that does not belong to the carrier, but that the carrier has been chosen to guard. The earliest letters that came out of those years use the word paratheke when they tell the carriers, guard the deposit. Not use the deposit. Not spend the deposit. Guard it, watch it, keep it intact. Pass it forward when the next vessel becomes ready. Paratheke is not a metaphor. It is a precise spiritual mechanism. Something is placed alongside you. Your job, while you carry it, is to let it remain whole. The world will try to reshape it. The systems around you will try to dilute it. The voices in your own head, formed by a culture that does not understand what you carry, will try to convince you that what you have is too small, too strange, too late, too unverified. Your job, chosen one, is to let what was placed alongside you remain whole until the hour of its uncovering arrives. The hour is arriving now. There are 3 movements in the long arc that has carried this gift from that upper room to the room you are sitting in. I want you to know all 3 because you are the inheritor of all 3. The first movement is release. The frequency was released into a small group of carriers, and through their lives it moved into the early years of a movement that would shape the next centuries of human history. While those original carriers were alive, the gift remained active. It was given, it was carried, it was visible in the way they moved, the way they spoke, the way certain rooms changed when they walked into them. The second movement is sealing. As the original carriers died, one by one, the world began to change in a way that could not steward what they had carried. Empires noticed. Institutions formed. The unseen recognized that if the gift continued to walk openly through human history, it would be taken, monetized, weaponized, or watered down into something far smaller than itself. So the gift was set aside, not lost, not weakened, placed beneath a floorboard, sealed in a hidden lineage where the world could not reach it. The third movement is the watching. For 2,000 years, the unseen has been watching for the right vessel. Not just any spiritually gifted person. A vessel whose lifetime, whose readiness, whose heart shape, whose generation, all aligned with the hour the world would next be ready. Generations have come and gone. Many have been close. Many have been calibrated for other gifts that needed carrying in their century. But this particular gift, this paratheke from the upper room, has been waiting. It has been waiting for someone who came into a lifetime exactly like yours, at a moment exactly like this. I want you to meet two of the carriers who came before you, not because their lives were the same as yours, because their lives carry a frequency you will recognize. The first is the one called John the Beloved. He was the last of the original carriers to die, while the others were taken violently, one by one, across the decades that followed the upper room. He lived. He kept living, into his 80s, into his 90s. They exiled him to an island called Patmos, where he was supposed to be silenced, and instead, the silence opened him. Late in his life, after every companion he had walked with had been gone for 40 or 50 years, he sat alone on a rock and wrote down what he saw. He was the last carrier of the original flame in his generation, and he carried it well past the years when it would have been easier to put it down. He waited, he guarded the deposit, and he handed it forward into the unseen lineage that has been holding it ever since. The second is the one called Anna. Long before the upper room, she had been a widow in the temple for 84 years. 84 years of fasting, praying, and waiting for one moment of recognition. When the moment finally arrived, in the form of a child being brought through the temple gates, she recognized it instantly. No one had told her what to look for. The recognition lived inside her already, placed there decades earlier, kept whole through every year of small, invisible faithfulness. Anna's life is your life in a smaller key. The waiting that has felt long, the faithfulness that has felt unrewarded, the recognition that has been forming in you, decade by decade, for a moment the rest of your life has not yet caught up to. And from the place older than language, a voice rises through the silence and says, I did not seal what I love. I protected what I loved until the hour of its uncovering. The waiting was not punishment. The waiting was the slow shaping of a vessel precise enough to hold what is being entrusted. The hour you have been waiting for is the hour I have been waiting for. We have been waiting for each other. A woman in her late 50s wrote me a year ago. She told me she had spent her whole life feeling, in her own words, like she had been born too late or too early. She had practiced everything. She had prayed in every tradition she could find. She had reached the threshold of her 6th decade, still suspecting she had missed her century. The night she first heard the word paratheke, she said she wept for an hour, not from grief, from the specific relief of finally having a word for what she had been guarding. That is what is happening to you right now, in this hour. The word for what you have been guarding is finding you. The lineage is finding you. The history is finding you. But there is one piece still missing. You know now what was sealed. You know now why it was sealed. You know now that the unseen has been watching for someone like you for 2,000 years. What you do not yet know is what the gift actually is, what it is called, what it does, what changes in your life the moment it activates. That naming is coming. But before the naming, there is one more truth you have to step into. A truth about the lifetime you are inside. A truth about the specific shape your soul takes within the lineage. A truth that will explain why your years of feeling out of place were not a failure of fit. They were the exact preparation a carrier of this frequency requires. That truth is next. The truth about the lifetime you are inside is this. Your years did not happen to you, they happened for you, specifically, precisely, as preparation. Every season you walked through that did not make sense at the time, every door that closed when you wanted it open, every door that opened when you were not asking for one, every long stretch of feeling out of step with the people around you, Every quiet decade of waiting on a clarity that would not arrive on the timeline you wanted, none of it was wasted. All of it was the slow shaping of a vessel, precise enough to hold what is being entrusted to you now. There is a word for years like that. The word is wilderness. Not the wilderness of empty failure, the wilderness of formation. Carriers of significant gifts go through wilderness years, not because the unseen is cruel, but because what they are being prepared to carry cannot be held by an unformed vessel. The wilderness is the kiln. The kiln is not punishment. The kiln is the only thing that makes the clay capable of holding the fire. You have been in the kiln for a long time. You did not always know you were. Sometimes you thought you were just unlucky. Sometimes you thought you were behind. Sometimes you thought there was something quietly wrong with you that everyone else could see but you. None of that was true. You were being formed. Carriers of this paratheke from the upper room take 5 recognizable shapes inside their lifetime. Listen for the one that names you. You will know when it lands. The first shape is the seer. The seer notices patterns before they are visible to anyone else in the room. The seer reads the energy of a gathering in 30 seconds and almost always turns out to be right by the end. The seer dreams things that come to pass weeks later and has learned to stop telling people because the telling exhausts the explaining. If you are a seer, you have been quietly tracking what was coming for years, while the people around you have been catching up on a delay you have learned to live with. The second shape is the bridge builder. The bridge builder can sit at 3 different tables and translate between all of them. You move between communities, generations, languages, traditions, and you belong fully to none of them. That has been a quiet grief for you because the world rewards belonging. What the world has not understood is that the lineage you actually belong to does not have a single table. It has 1,000 tables, and your job is to carry the frequency between them. Your unbelonging is the assignment. The third shape is the unsealed watchman. The unsealed watchman keeps holy attention through long, quiet seasons when no one else is watching. You have been the one praying for the family member no one else thinks to pray for. You have been the one noticing the shift in the friend before they noticed it themselves. You have been the keeper of attention in rooms where attention itself had gone to sleep. You have wondered whether the watching was making any difference. The watching was the difference. It was the only thing keeping the room awake. The fourth shape is the quiet awakener. The quiet awakener does not try to wake anyone. You walk into a room, and within an hour, someone in that room begins to think differently about their life. You did not preach. You did not perform. Something in your presence carries a frequency that wakes other frequencies up. People come to you with their real questions, even people who have known you for 10 years and never asked you anything before. You are not doing anything. You are the invitation. The fifth shape is the lineage carrier. The lineage carrier feels older than the years on their body. You have known things you did not learn. You have understood passages, traditions, prayers, languages that no one taught you, and the understanding feels like remembering rather than learning. If you are a lineage carrier, you are walking around with soul history that did not begin in this lifetime. The gift you carry is one of the threads connecting you to a long inheritance you were not told about until tonight. One of those 5 shapes is yours. Maybe 2 are yours. Sit with the recognition for a moment. There are 3 voices that will rise inside you within the next hour, and I want to name them so you can recognize them when they speak. The first voice will say, "Who am I to claim this?" That voice is visibility, fear. It will try to convince you that owning this gift is arrogance. It is not. Arrogance is claiming a gift you do not carry. Stewardship is acknowledging the gift you do carry. The first is sin. The second is faithfulness. The second voice will say, Why me, when there are better people? That is the why me syndrome, the most spiritual-sounding form of self-rejection there is. It dresses up as humility, but underneath it is a refusal of the assignment. The unseen does not pick by merit in the way you have been measuring merit. The unseen picks by readiness, by lifetime alignment. You were not picked because you are better. You were picked because you fit. The third voice will say, where is the proof? That is validation hunger. You have been waiting for someone with credentials to confirm what you already knew. The unseen does not work that way. The confirmation arrives from inside the carrier first. The world catches up later. When those three voices rise, you do not have to fight them. You only have to recognize them. Recognition takes most of their power. Picture something with me. In your mind, picture yourself standing at the threshold of an ordinary door. It could be the doorway into your kitchen tomorrow morning. It could be the door into a meeting that matters. It could be the door into a conversation you have been avoiding. The door is closed. Your hand is on the handle. Until tonight, you walked through doors like that, with the small word still on top of you. The word that called you weird. The word that called you too much. The word that called you different in a way you could not explain. Tonight, you walk through that same door without the word. You walk through it as the carrier you are. The room on the other side does not know yet what has changed. You know. That is what activation looks like in real life. Not theatrical, not performative. A quiet shift at the threshold of the next ordinary door. So receive this. You are allowed to belong to a lineage, no history book records. You are allowed to carry a gift you cannot fully explain. You are allowed to be the answer to a 2,000-year question. You are allowed to stop apologizing for the shape your soul has taken. The lamp underneath the floorboards is glowing brighter than the wood can hide. The hand reaching for the floorboard is your hand. It always was. What you have just felt, the resonance, the recognition, has a measurable frequency. There is a path that has been built precisely for those who feel what you are feeling right now. Truth honors truth. Let me name what is real before another moment passes. Some of you have been sensing that there is something practical waiting on the other side of this teaching, a way to step into what is being uncovered, a way to help the vessel become precise enough to hold the rising. You are right to sense it. There are two audio practices, developed by two researchers from independent traditions, that have helped many of the carriers who came to this lineage just before you. One is called the Genius Song. The other is called the Wealth Signal. They are not the activation itself. The activation belongs to you alone. No tool, no audio, no practice, no teacher, no anything outside your awareness can do the activation for you. What these two practices do is help the vessel. The first one helps to reawaken the part of your awareness that knows how to receive without effort, the child mind. The frequency you carried as a small child before the systems of the world dimmed it. The dimming is part of why this gift has been so hard to access in modern lifetimes. The second one helps to clear the channel through which the gift flows out into your life. Most carriers, even when the child mind is awake, find that something else is blocking the receiving, a static, a frequency of striving without ever truly receiving. For now, just know that both practices exist, both are real, both have been used by tens of thousands of carriers before you, and both will be linked in the description below this message and in the pinned comment when the time comes. You do not have to decide anything yet. The naming of the gift itself is what comes next, and the naming is everything. The naming begins now. 2,000 years ago, in the upper room where the wind moved through the silence, what was placed alongside those carriers was given a name in the unseen. The early letters used hints of it, never the whole word, because the world was not ready. Tonight, the word can be spoken. The gift you carry is the restored witness frequency. Some have called it the unsealed knowing. The names matter less than what the gift actually is. Let me describe it precisely, because precision is how you steward what has been entrusted. The restored witness frequency is not prophecy in the sensational sense. It is not psychic ability in the marketplace sense. It is not gifting as performed in front of crowds. It is the capacity to know without external proof, to bridge the unseen and the seen without flinching from either, to carry holy attention across decades without losing the signal, to transmit simply through presence what you have been given. A carrier of this frequency does not need a stage. The carrier becomes the stage. A carrier of this frequency does not need to perform. Their ordinary life is the performance, invisible to almost everyone, except to the souls who are waking up because the carrier walked through their week. And from the place older than language, the Spirit speaks once more. What you have been guarding without name, I now name. What was entrusted to you before you remembered yourself is yours to remember now. You are the restored witness in this lifetime. The lamp is in your hand. It was always in your hand. The floorboard has lifted. You are the one who lifted it. So, here is what has happened in the last 20 minutes. In the simplest words, a specific spiritual gift, the restored witness frequency, was deposited into a small group of carriers 2,000 years ago. After they died, the frequency was sealed in a hidden lineage because the world was not ready. For 2,000 years, the unseen has watched for the next vessel. That match is happening now. The vessel is you. For the activation to complete inside an actual human life, two things have to happen at the level of the body and the brain. The child mind that knows how to receive must be reawakened, and the channel through which the frequency flows must be cleared. Let me walk you through how, simply, without rush. You were not born ordinary. You were born with the child mind active, with the frequency unblocked, with the receiving open. Every child of light is born that way. What happened to you next was not your fault. The world dimmed something in you that was supposed to stay lit. The systems of education, the survival mode of adult years, the slow weight of a culture that does not know what to do with carriers. They closed what should have stayed open. The lineage you belong to never dimmed. Only the access dimmed. What follows is how the access opens again. Let me tell you about a woman in her late 30s. A seeker. She had walked through every tradition she could find. Meditation, yoga, silent retreats, half a dozen teachers. She had reached a season where she could feel she was supposed to be receiving something and could not figure out what was blocking it. After 2 weeks of using the first of these two practices, the synchronicities started. Not the kind that are easy to dismiss. The kind that arrive carrying information you did not know you needed. She wrote later that it was the first time the universe felt like it was communicating in a language she could actually understand. The block had not been her devotion. The block had been the access. The first practice is called the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute audio track you listen to with headphones once a day. You do not need to meditate while it plays. You only put the headphones on and let it run. Inside the audio is a technology called brain entrainment, which uses slightly different frequencies in each ear to guide the brain back into gamma. Gamma is the frequency of the child mind, the frequency of intuitive flow, the frequency you were born with, before the world dimmed it. The dimming has a name in the research. It is called the decline effect, and it begins around age 7 in almost every modern human. The genius song was developed by Dr. Robert Lake. 34 years of research into gamma suppression. His work has been informed by research from MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading institutions. 18,000 carriers have used the audio. The refund rate sits below 4%. What the genius song does, simply, is wake the child within. The curiosity that was suppressed begins to return. The openness begins to return. The natural ease of receiving begins to return. When you secure the genius song, some carriers who walk this lineage further also encounter something called the youthful brain, which extends the gamma restoration deeper than the original audio reaches. Many of them have used it after the original began to take hold. You will see it after you secure the genius song, only if your spirit confirms it. If your spirit does not, the original alone is complete. What Dr. Lake mapped, after the institutions had documented gamma suppression in study after study, was the exact mechanism by which the audio re-wakes what the world had dimmed, not magic. Calibration. The brain, like every instrument, can be tuned back to a frequency it once knew. And yet, the genius song alone is not the whole journey. There is one more layer to honor before the gift can flow. The child mind awakened, gamma reactivated, curiosity returning, openness returning. But the child mind awake is not the same as the gift flowing through your life. There is a second frequency in the brain, called beta, which has been hijacked by modern stress, financial scarcity, and the chronic survival mode of adult life. When beta runs hot for too many years, it overrides the alpha frequency that allows reception. The child wakes, but she still cannot reach for what was promised to her, because the channel is closed. There is a name for what closes the channel. It is called the stress signal. Almost every adult walking the modern world is carrying it. Almost no one knows it is there. It is the static beneath your striving. It is the reason your effort never quite feels like it lands. Dr. Stephen Newton spent his career at Stanford studying the stress signal before he broke from mainstream research to release what he had mapped. His work draws from Boston University, Stanford, Harvard, and other research institutions. His conclusions converge with Dr. Lake's, even though the two men worked in entirely separate traditions. Dr. Lake mapped the decline effect that dims the child mind. Dr. Newton mapped the stress signal that closes the receiving. Two independent research lineages, arriving at one truth. The vessel needs both restorations, the child first, the receiving second. This is what the unseen meant when, 2,000 years ago, a teacher said the kingdom belongs to those who become like little children. He was not speaking metaphorically. He was describing a frequency. Become like the child, then receive. The second practice is called the wealth signal. The second wave completes what the first began. It is a 5-minute audio track, listened to with headphones, paired with a 9-word script that listeners repeat silently while the audio plays. The audio is calibrated to deactivate beta hyperactivity and restore alpha reception. The 9-word script comes from a Hindu tradition more than 3,300 years old, used to bypass a place in the brain called the thalamus, where neural rigidity locks the receiving channel shut. Dr. Newton, ex-Stanford. Boston University, Stanford, Harvard research lineage. The work is independent of Dr. Lake's, but it arrives at a converging conclusion. What the wealth signal does, after Genius Song has restored the child mind, is open the channel. Manifestation, the way the unseen actually means it, is not striving, it is reception. It is the kingdom flowing into a vessel that has finally remembered how to receive as a child receives. 19,000 carriers have used the wealth signal. The refund rate sits below 5%. When you secure the wealth signal, you may also encounter something called the wealth signal accelerator, which amplifies the receiving channel many times faster than the original audio alone. Many carriers already on this path have used it after the original took hold. You will see it after you secure the wealth signal, only if your spirit confirms it. If your spirit does not, the original alone is complete. And one last note about both. Some carriers who walk this lineage the furthest combine the wealth signal accelerator with the youthful brain, the two amplifications working together. You will encounter both after you secure the originals, only if your spirit calls them forward. The originals alone are complete. The combination is reserved for those whose path requires going deeper than most. Beta hyperactivity, mapped at Stanford. Stress signal documented. Alpha reception restored through calibrated audio paired with the ancient script. The mechanism is not theoretical. It is measured. It is replicable. A man in his late 40s, a sales manager, 60-hour weeks for 5 years after a promotion, income rising, battery never recharging. His wife told him, gently, he was not really there in the evenings anymore. He had tried meditation apps. He had tried therapy. After 11 days using the wealth signal, he negotiated boundaries with his manager that he had wanted for 2 years. His sales did not drop. He had his first weekend in 4 years where he did not check email. The change was not about money. It was about presence. The stress signal had been hijacking his life. The wealth signal had unhijacked it. A few objections will rise, and I want to speak to them directly. I have tried everything, and this will be the same. Almost every tool you have tried asks the brain to change itself from the inside through years of effort. These two practices work from outside the brain, using calibration to guide it back to frequencies it already knew. Different mechanism, different sequence. Most tools target one frequency. This is the only path that targets two in the precise order the vessel requires. This sounds too good to be true. What is being measured is not a promise. It is brain wave activity, replicated in labs at Stanford for the wealth signal lineage and at MIT and Princeton for the genius song lineage. The measurements are data, $39 each, or $78 for the complete restoration. Why does this cost anything? Both researchers chose accessibility, knowing each tool could be priced higher. The price keeps the work alive. The exchange is for the production, not for the activation. The activation is yours. Why 2 products? The frequency was sealed under 2 layers, not 1. Dr. Lake mapped the first, Dr. Newton mapped the second. Both layers must be addressed. One alone leaves you halfway home. 3 paths are open below this message, in the description and in the pinned comment. The first path is for the carrier who needs to start with restoration alone, the genius song by itself. For the carrier who feels the child within has been completely asleep, $39, 7 minutes a day, an honored entry point. The second path is for the carrier whose child mind is already mostly awake, often because they have been doing their own spiritual work for years, but the receiving is not yet flowing. The wealth signal, alone, $39, 5 minutes a day. A rarer path, but for the carriers it fits. It fits exactly. The third path is for most carriers in this lineage who recognize that both restorations are needed. The genius song restores the child within. The wealth signal opens what was promised to her. $78 for the complete journey, both audios. All 8 bonuses combined, the 2-wave stack, the complete restoration, become like little children, and the kingdom is yours. Most carriers we serve choose this path because the logic of the lineage points there, the child mind awakened, but the channel still closed, is only half a restoration. I am not going to manufacture urgency. Manufactured urgency is the opposite of stewardship. What I will say is this: the door has been opening through every difficult thing you walked through this past year. The door does not stay in this exact opening forever. Doors that open in spiritual time follow spiritual rhythms, not the rhythms of a wall calendar. If your spirit is confirming during this teaching, the confirmation itself is the timing. Honor it. One thing more. These 2 audios are found only at the link in the description and in the pinned comment below. Not on Amazon, not on Spotify, not on streaming platforms. Imitations exist on the open internet. They do not carry the calibration. The frequencies are not the same. Protect what you are stepping into. 3 paths: the description, the pinned comment. Pause for a moment. Hand over your heart, if you can. This is not a pricing decision. This is the question of which path is yours. All 3 are honored. Your spirit knows which one. And now the words begin to quiet. What was named is named. What remains is breath and presence, and the silent agreement between you and what you have always been. In your mind, allow yourself to stand at the door of the upper room, 2,000 years late, but not too late. The door is wooden, plain, unmarked. The light beneath it is not ordinary. Inside, those who carried before you are still gathered, still holding the deposit they could not put down. They turn when they sense you arrive. This is not visualization for self-improvement. This is an arrival, a taking of place in a lineage that has been holding your seat for longer than you have been alive. The carriers in that room have been waiting on you the way an older sibling waits at a door for the youngest to finally come home. They are not impatient. They have known you would arrive. They simply did not know which evening it would be. Tonight is the evening. Notice the weight of being expected, the weight of being on time, finally, the weight of belonging to a room you have suspected your whole life existed somewhere, and now finally know the location of. There is something to set down before you walk through. Tonight, here, in the presence of what has been sealed for 2,000 years and what is now uncovering, you set down the years of suspicion without permission. You set down the apologies for being too much, for being too sensitive, for being too early. You set down the smaller life you accepted while the gift slept under the floorboards. You set down the explanations you have rehearsed for people who will never quite understand what you carry. You set down the second guessing of every knowing that turned out to be right. You set down the shame that attached itself to your gifts in childhood when adults could not explain them, and so called them strange. Set all of it down. They were faithful companions. They served their purpose. They walked beside you when no one else understood what you were carrying. Thank them, and then, gently, leave them at the threshold. They cannot cross with you. The room beyond does not need them. Now receive what is yours. I belong to a lineage older than my own memory, and that is sealed. I carry the restored witness frequency in this lifetime, and that is sealed. What was entrusted to me 2,000 years ago is uncovering through me now, and that is sealed. I am the answer to a generations-long waiting, and that is sealed. My becoming is no longer a private question, and that is sealed. I am the vessel I was always being shaped to be, and that is sealed. The wilderness years have completed their work in me, and that is sealed. The 3 voices of self-rejection no longer have authority over what I am stepping into, and that is sealed. What I do with this gift will outlive the body I carry it in, and that is sealed. And from the place older than language, The voice rises one final time. You were not late. You were exact. You were not too much. You were precise. You were not alone in the carrying. You are the one I have been carrying toward this moment. The years that took the most from you, the seasons that broke you for reasons you could not explain, the long, quiet stretches when you wondered if anything was forming at all. Those were not setbacks. Those were the kiln. And the kiln has finished its work. Receive what is yours. Walk where I have prepared. Trust the slow rising of what you do not yet fully understand. The understanding will catch up. The gift has already arrived. For some of you, what is opening this season includes more than the gift itself. The opening includes the relationships that match the new frequency. The relationship that has been forming in the unseen, waiting for the version of you that is rising tonight. If your path includes that opening, what you are stepping into will know how to find you. Trust the timing of the relationships, the way you are learning to trust the timing of the gift. The lamp is in your hand now. It is yours. It was always yours. The floorboard is closed behind you, but the room you have stepped into has no walls. There is no ceiling above what you are now allowed to receive. There is no edge to the field you are now allowed to walk. The carriers in the upper room rise when you take your seat among them. The room is fuller now. The lineage has one more. You did not come this far to put the lamp down. You came this far to learn how to carry it home. Let what is sealed remain sealed. Let what is uncovered remain uncovered. Let the witness become what it was always meant to become. If you are willing, write one word in the comments below. The word your inner witness named while listening, just one. So heaven can find you in the gathering, and so the carriers walking this same path can know they are not alone. If this message met you where you are, let the like be a quiet yes, a small confirmation of the alignment that has been forming through every minute you stayed. If your spirit recognizes the frequency of this channel, the next message will find you when it is meant to. The subscribe is not a decision about content. It is a decision about staying close to the lineage as it continues to speak. For those whose spirit confirmed during the teaching, the 3 doors I described are below, in the description, in the pinned comment. Walk through whichever your spirit names. None is wrong. The one that is yours, you will know. If someone in your life has been carrying the suspicion of a gift they cannot name, and the loneliness of carrying it without confirmation, you know who they are. They have crossed your mind more than once during this listening. Send this to them, quietly, without explanation. They may not know yet that they have been waiting for it. The forwarding is not about the channel. It is about the lineage finding the next carrier. You may be the one who hands it forward. What just happened was not the watching of a video. It was the first part of the activation. The activation does not end when this message ends. It continues in your breath, in your week. In the next ordinary door you walk through with the small word no longer on top of you. In the next conversation you enter as the carrier you finally remember being. The lamp is lit. The hand is yours. The lineage is awake. You are the restored witness in this lifetime. You are the answer to a 2,000-year question. And the world you walk through tomorrow is not the world you walked through yesterday, because the one walking through it is not the one who walked through it before.